Christopher Bell goes 3 in a row here in the NASCAR Cup Series season. 3 of the first 4. William Byron obviously being the one who won the Daytona 500. Some would say on pure luck. You would be correct. But nonetheless, Christopher Bell is your Phoenix winner. Yeah, this race was it was all right. It was better than what we've seen in the past. At least the finish was. It but there's a few questions that I have when it comes to the actual finish itself. If we want to go back to the consistency card that NASCAR so desperately lacks. So, I am old enough to remember, because I am older than a year. I am older than 6 months. Where Austin Dillon, he actually took out Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, in pursuit of a victory. Now, it wasn't the worst thing in the world that we've seen to try to win a race. By no means was it the worst thing we've ever seen. But he was stripped of being able to compete in the playoffs off that win. And my question is, where is the line? I've been asking about that since this started, since this whole thing happened. Where is the line? Because Christopher Bell, he doored Denny Hamlin to get across the line first. You saw in the race on Saturday, Eric Almirola, he doored Alex Bowman to get the win in the Xfinity Series. So, where is the line exactly? Is it you can only take out one car in the process, or is it like where's the line? Where is the line? And I get the whole Austin Dillon thing at Richmond was potentially a one-off, but it was still a moment that you need to have in the rule book on what is the protocol. And with Christopher Bell, yes, there was contact made. Yes, Denny Hamlin didn't wreck because of the contact. But you could make a case that that is the same thing that Austin Dillon did with Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano at Richmond. But yet, Austin Dillon was stripped of that playoff berth. So, what's the difference? I'm all ears. What is the difference? Now, the actual race itself, tire compounds, with that, I don't think it played too much of a role in that. With oval tracks, the tires aren't, the compound isn't as noticeable. There isn't as wide of a gap, especially on a track like Phoenix, where it doesn't really eat up tires that much. But I would be more interested to see what happens at a 1.5-mile track. I don't know if they're planning on doing this later in the year, where there is a bit more room to do things. But it will be something interesting when you're on a track that requires you to use some brakes and actually gives you a little bit more room to do things. That is what I'm going to be interested in. But with the way that it is right now, I don't see a reason to get all excited about having multiple tire compounds. I don't think that's the answer to this. I think Goodyear just needs to come up with a better tire. And through the through Atlanta and Coda, they have done a great job. And Phoenix, Phoenix is a tough track. Um, I'm not gonna crap on Goodyear for that. But and now, full disclosure, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire race before doing this, but I did see the finish. I did see most of the race. So it's kind of touch and go. Some of us work for a living. I'm sure you understand. But nonetheless, now there is a few things that I did want to discuss outside of the Phoenix race. And that would be everybody's favorite term, lawsuit. Oh my, is this getting juicy. So this is an article from the AP. Jenna Fryer, she is actually a very good, she's a very good reporter, and I have much respect for her. NASCAR's revenue-sharing charter system is under threat being disbanded, according to a Wednesday counterclaim filed by the Stock Car Series against Michael Jordan, 2311 Racing, Front Row Motorsports, and singles out Jordan's longtime business manager. Gosh, what's his name? He doesn't have his name on here. All right, cool. Curtis Polk, there he is. Now, pretty much NASCAR's countersuing 2311 and Front Row for everything that 2311 and Front Row are suing NASCAR for. But I think so. What? I don't know what the I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. I just know it's going to be really messy and it's just going to get worse as it goes on. But hopefully the end result here, and this is just my hope, hopefully the end result here is that this lawsuit ends with the charter system coming to an end. There has to be a little bit different way on how we can get these teams enough money to where there isn't a pay-to-play situation. They can get the sponsors, make them happy, and be able to put good drivers in those cars. Now, the charter system, it allows the teams that are already established to grow within NASCAR, but the charter system does not allow NASCAR itself to grow. And we need the sport itself to grow. Charter system is single-handedly keeping Dale Jr. out of the Cup Series. Junior Motorsports out of the Cup Series. It is keeping Chip Ganassi out of the Cup Series. It is keeping it's keeping any high profile guys, owners, from coming into the Cup Series. And if I'm Dale Jr., if I'm Chip Ganassi, there's no way I'm touching a charter until this lawsuit gets resolved. Now, if it comes out to where the 2311 and Front Row get what they want, they get a little bit more money going to the charters, then I could see Junior or Ganassi coming in and buying a charter. But it's not worth the $30 million per charter to come in, only to have it be taken away after 2 years. Or less, depending on when this gets resolved. So, you have a lot of teams, and I'm surprised that teams like RFK, Trackhouse, and Front Row in 2311 actually went out and bought charters given this situation, especially Front Row in 2311. They are smart enough to know exactly how this could potentially end. And that is roughly $30 million down the crapper on you pushing the envelope, which I'm not mad about by any stretch. I'm fully in support of 2311 as long as this ends with the charters going bye-bye. Now, it's NASCAR that wants to get rid of the charters because it gives security to the owners that they'll be able to race for the full season. I don't want that kind of style. It shouldn't be a franchise model system. It should be based on merit and being able to make the top 35, 30 in owners points and be able to start from scratch and work your way up and be able to earn your way into having a spot locked into the Cup Series each and every single week, and not just be able to buy your way in like Spear Motorsports has. I find it absolutely ridiculous that we have come to this point in NASCAR. But yeah, so hopefully this is how hopefully the end of this is the charter system going away. But NASCAR, they are also claiming that Curtis Polk tried to orchestrate a boycott for the Daytona duels, and yeah, so it's a whole mess, and it's only going to get worse. But anyway, so we got to turn back the clock to a week ago when Austin Cindric turned Ty Dillon into a wall because he was mad on the front stretch at Coda. Right rear hooked him into the wall, and NASCAR said there was no penalty. That there wouldn't be a race suspension for Austin Cindric. Now, we have seen in the past Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott get one race suspensions for that. But that was at 1.5 tracks where they're going nearly 200 miles an hour instead of a road course where they're going about 110. However, at a road course, the walls are not as protected because a lot of those walls are temporary walls. They're not as safe as a closed track. They don't have the safer barriers. I would have gone ahead, thrown the suspension out. One race. See you later, Cindric. We'll see you at Homestead or Vegas. We'll see you in Vegas. But yeah, I mean, we can't be trying to cut that many hairs of where is this? What the only thing that should matter is the only two things that should matter is intent and danger. There was definitely intent behind Austin Cindric turning Ty Dillon into that wall. 100% intent. This is the NASCAR Cup Series. We need to be more mature than that, especially if you are Austin Cindric and racing for Roger Penske in the number 2 car. You have to be more disciplined, more mature than that crap. And it is an absolute joke that NASCAR has not told Cindric, you're parked for the weekend. We'll see you in Vegas. And I understand that it wasn't this 200 mile an hour, half-mile track. It's a road course. And I get they're not going as fast, but still, it doesn't make it any less dangerous to have somebody who does not have the mental maturity to operate when things don't quite go their way or somebody ticks them off in a what is essentially just a racing move. And yeah, it might have been rough, but it wasn't intent to wreck Austin Cindric. So, yeah. See you later, Cindric. We'll see you next week in Vegas. You should have sat. But you didn't. You just got points and a fine, which is something that he would much rather have. So, so we're gonna hop back over to Phoenix, and as we have been told at nausea over the week, Catherine Leggett is the first female to race in the Cup Series since Danica Patrick in 2018, and she wrecked twice. She spun out twice. Now, this isn't so much a knock on Catherine as it is on NASCAR. Uh, we need a higher threshold for people running in a Cup Series race. She was woefully unprepared. She was not ready for a Cup Series race. And I get she's raced all over the world, racing so many other things. But you need to have some standards that are better than what we saw out of Catherine on Sunday. And we said the same thing about Helio Castroneves. There needs to be a higher threshold of what is allowed in the Cup Series. They will say no to Mike Wallace, who has been in a Cup Series car his entire career, took a decade off, and wants to come back, and NASCAR instantly said no. But yet, Helio Castroneves, Catherine Leggett, is allowed to run a Cup Series because of why? Why? Because Helio Castroneves is a open wheel legend? Okay, but that's open wheel, not stock car. And Catherine Leggett is a female who, for all intents and purposes, embarrassed herself Sunday. How is that helping the sport? And let's go like full blown like liberal woman power. How does that help women break into NASCAR? Because we just saw, quote, one of the best females out there spin out twice by herself. And I get it's a tough corner. I get doing it once. But she is seconds off the pace. She was 5 laps down by the time her second spin came around. And it's unfortunate. This is all on NASCAR. Catherine was doing the best that she could. But you can't be allowing someone with inexperience in a stock car in the Cup Series. I don't know if she's raced in NASCAR in the past. I feel like I've heard her before in the Cup Series. Not in the Cup Series, I should say, but like in lower series. But she shouldn't have been racing yesterday. Absolutely not. And it's a joke, quite honestly. This didn't help her. This didn't help women. This made NASCAR look like a pushover, and here we are. This whole thing has egg on everybody's face. I mean, for goodness sake, there are there's at least 3 stories about Catherine Legg over the last week. Maybe more. At least on motorsport.com. Well, why is she getting this kind of attention? First off. Especially after. I mean, 2 of them have come after the race. It's come after. And to have all of these have all these stories about her, and it's like, why? She's not she's not that interesting to me personally. Neither was Natalie Decker. She wasn't that interesting. And Danica Patrick was just simply annoying. The only one that I had promise in was Hailie Deegan. And I think the truck series, the trucks did not suit her style. We'll see in Indy next and see how she does, but we can only hope for the best. But yeah, there's that. I'll be back next. Well, I'll be back very very soon to talk more about the upcoming race in Las Vegas. I believe we also have F1 coming. We have IndyCar with round 2. We got a lot going on over this next week. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.